So I think in the last class, I think we were discussing concentrations. Yes. So in the previous class, I made it very clear what is a solution, right? I gave you the concept of a solute. Okay, we discussed what is a solvent. Okay, we saw solvents can be defined in two ways. Okay, and we also uh, learned how we can express the concentration. Okay, we know how to express the concentration. So today we'll be starting off with a very important topic. Okay, so expressing concentration, obviously. So now the concentrations normally are expressed in two ways. Okay, it can be expressed in two ways. So what are the two ways in which we can express the concentration? Let us see. Okay, the first one is your molarity. It is your molarity. Okay, so it is denoted by capital M. It is denoted by capital M. So what is this? Molarity. Okay, so we can express the concentration in terms of molarity. We can express the concentration in terms of your molarity. Okay, so first of all, let us start with the definition of molarity and let us try to understand this thing. What is your molarity? Okay, so most of us, I think we know the definition of molarity. Okay, so what actually is molarity? Molarity is defined as the number of moles, the number of moles of a solute, the number of moles of a solute dissolved in what? 1 liter, or if we express this in ml, then 1000 ml of solution. So this is the definition of molarity. Simple one-line definition. Okay. So what is molarity? Molarity is defined as the number of moles of a solute dissolved in how much? Dissolved in a 1 liter of solution. Dissolved in 1 liter of solution. So what does this mean? What does this mean? Let us try to understand it. Okay. So suppose I have a conical flask like this. Okay, whose capacity is here 1 liter. I have a 1 liter conical flask. Okay, I have a 1 liter conical flask. Now, so I fill up the conical flask with some solution out here. Okay, there is some solution out here. There is some solution out here. And suppose if 1 liter of the solution contains, if 1 liter of a solution contains 1 mole of solute. Okay, if this solution contains 1 mole of solute, that means we have prepared a solution by dissolving 1 mole of solute. Okay, we have a solution. Okay, and we have prepared this solution by dissolving 1 mole of solute. So what would be the concentration of this solution? Then what is the definition of molarity? Try to understand it. Molarity is defined as the number of moles of solute dissolved in 1 liter of solution. The number of moles of solute which you dissolve in 1 liter of solution is defined as the molarity. That means in 1 liter of solution, if you dissolve 1 mole of solute, how many moles have we dissolved? We have dissolved 1 mole of solute in 1 liter of solution. So since we have dissolved mole in 1 liter of solution, what will be the molarity? The molarity will be equal to 1. Why? Because molarity is defined as the number of moles of solute dissolved in 1 liter of solution. This is the simplest concept of molarity. So if you dissolve 1 mole in 1 liter, molarity is going to be 1. Or say if you dissolve say 0.01 mole of solute. If you dissolve 0.01 mole of solute in 1 liter of solution, what is going to be the molarity now? How many moles have we dissolved? We have dissolved 0.01 moles in 1 liter. So now the molarity is going to be 0.01. Molarity is 0.01. So in 1 liter of solution, say again, if you dissolve say 100 moles, if you dissolve 100 moles of a solute, okay, in 1 liter of solution, again you are dissolving 100 moles of a solute. So what will be the molarity? The molarity is going to be 100. The molarity is going to be 100. So this is the concept of molarity. Molarity simply means 1 liter solution में तुमने कितना moles dissolve किया. 1 liter में if you try to dissolve 1 mole, okay, molarity is going to be 1. If you dissolve 0.01 mole, the molarity is 0.01. If you dissolve 100 moles of solute in 1 liter, okay, then the molarity is 100. If you dissolve 5 moles of solute, then what will be the molarity? Molarity will be 5. So molarity simply means 1 liter of solution contains how many moles of solute? That is your molarity. Okay, so the definition of molarity is number of moles of a solute dissolved in 1 liter of your solution. Okay, so don't ever forget this concept of molarity. Okay, this is the definition. What does the definition states then? 1 liter में कितना moles solute dissolve किया? That is equal to the molarity. Simple, right? So 1 liter में if you dissolve 1000 moles, molarity is going to be 1000. 1 liter में if you dissolve 0.005 moles, molarity is going to be 0.005. Fine. So this is the concept of molarity. This is the concept of molarity. So I'm sure you guys have, you guys must know, you guys must have learned the formula for calculating molarity. Yes. If I ask you, you can easily give me the formula for calculating the molarity. But how did we get that formula? How did we derive that formula? Okay, so now let us see. Okay, now let us suppose that, okay, NB, what does N stands for? Number of moles. What does B stand for? Yes, we have discussed this earlier. What does the symbol B or 2 stands for? Solute. So what does NB stands for? NB is the number of moles of solute. Suppose NB moles of solute are dissolved in V liter of solution. So what is the volume of solution? The volume of solution is V liter. Okay, the volume of the solution out here, I have assumed that I have a solution whose volume equals to V liter. And in V liter, how many moles of solute are present? NB moles of solute are present. Okay, so what can I say now? I can write it down. V liter of solution, it contains how many moles of solute? Yes, V liter of solution, it contains NB moles of solute. V liter of solution, it contains NB moles of solute. So if we carry out the unitary method, then yes, what can I say then? 1 liter of solution, it contains how many moles of solute? Yes. So I've assumed a solution, okay, whose volume is V liter, and V liter NB moles of solute are dissolved. So V liter, I can say V liter of solution contains NB moles of solute. So 1 liter of solution contains how many moles of solute? NB by V moles of solute. Fine. So what will be the molarity of this solution then? Yes, think and give me the answer. What will be the molarity of this solution? What is going to be the molarity of this solution? What is molarity again? How do we define molarity? Molarity is defined as the number of moles of solute dissolved in 1 liter of solution. So how many moles of solute are dissolved in 1 liter now? I can say this moles of solution, NB by V moles of solute are present in 1 liter of solution. So therefore, what is the molarity then? What is the molarity? Yes, the molarity of this solution is equal to number of moles divided by volume. So molarity is number of moles per unit volume. Okay, molarity is number of moles per liter volume. So what is the formula of molarity? Molarity is equal to NB. What does NB stands for? Number of moles of solute divided by volume of the solution. And this volume of the solution is in liter. Remember, it is in liter. Okay. Now, can I write down this number of moles in terms of mass? What is the formula for calculating the number of moles in terms of mass? Number of moles was equal to, what had we learned? Number of moles equals to weight of solute, given mass of solute, divided by molecular mass of solute into 1 by V. This is the volume of the solution in liter. So just I have expressed the number of moles in terms of mass. What is the formula for number of moles? Weight divided by molecular weight. And remember, if you try to express the volume in ml, okay, if we express the volume in ml, if I express the volume in ml, then I can write it down as WB by MB into, I've changed now the volume of the solution in ml. If I express in ml, then yes, I have to multiply by 1000 because I know 1 liter equals to 1000 ml. So I'm converting a liter into milliliter in this way. Okay. So these are some of the formulas for calculating the molarity. What is molarity? Number of moles per unit volume. Number of moles I can express in terms of mass, given mass by molecular mass, and the volume is still in liter. If I want to change the volume in ml, then yes, I have to multiply by 1000. Right. So these are the formula with the help of which we can calculate the molarity. Understood? Let us move further. Okay. So I'm just going to erase this definition of molarity now. So if you have any questions, okay, you can just ask me. You can just ask me. Okay. So yes, now I can write, yes, molarity is equal to number of moles of solute divided by volume. Right. Number of moles, I can write it as WB by MB. And if I express the volume in milliliter, then I need to multiply by 1000. So this is the volume of the solution in ml. So now here we see, yes, molarity depends upon the number of moles as well as on the volume. If the volume changes, the molarity will also change. How are the volume and molarity related? They are inversely proportional. So if the volume of the solution increases, the molarity decreases. Or if the volume of the solution decreases, the molarity will increase. So they are inversely related to each other. Okay. And one very common question out here is the effect of temperature. Effect of temperature. Okay, effect of temperature. So now let us discuss this effect of temperature. Okay. Now, what is the effect of temperature on the volume? So does temperature change affect the mass? Does it affect the number of moles? Does it affect the number of moles? No. But does it affect the volume of the solution temperature? Yes. When gases, solids, and liquids are heated, what happens to them? They undergo expansion. Solids, we know, on heating they undergo expansion. Gases, they expand on heating. And liquids, yes, they also expand on heating. Right? So we can say that on increasing the temperature, so I can say when the temperature increases, okay, what will happen to the volume? There will be expansion, means what will happen to the volume? The volume is also going to increase. So temperature increases, the volume will increase. Yes. And if the volume increases, what will happen to the molarity then? Molarity will decrease. So what will happen? Molarity decreases. Molarity decreases. Or conversely, we can say that if the temperature decreases, there will be contraction. If the temperature decreases, the volume will also decrease. And if the volume decreases, the molarity is going to increase. So yes, I can come to the conclusion that temperature and molarity, they are inversely related. Temperature increases, molarity decreases. Okay. So I can come to the generalization that yes, molarity is inversely proportional to the temperature. Molarity is inversely proportional to the temperature. Okay, so molarity, yes, it depends upon temperature. How does it depend upon temperature? It is inversely related to the temperature, like this. Molarity is inversely related to the temperature. Okay. So yes, we have discussed about molarity now. We now know molarity definition that we obviously should know. But what is the definition? We should try to understand that definition as well. Right? So molarity means 1 liter solution contains how many moles of solute. Okay. And according to the definition, we have derived this formula. Okay. So now molarity is number of moles by volume. And number of moles if we express in mass, and volume if we express in ml, this is going to be the formula. Again, we saw that yes, volume changes with temperature. So yes, molarity is also temperature dependent. Molarity does depend upon temperature. So this is a very famous question. Okay, molarity is temperature dependent. Now since we have derived some formulas, now let us. Okay, so we are supposed to calculate the molarity of what? We are going to calculate we are supposed to calculate the molarity of a solution which is prepared by dissolving 2 gram of NaOH per 100 ml of solution. So what are we supposed to do? Yes, we'll take the help of this formula. Okay, so here the volume is given. So what is the volume of the solution? The volume of the solution is 100 ml. The volume of the solution is 100 ml. So we know this, and this has been expressed in ml. We need to calculate the number of moles of the NaOH. How do we calculate the number of moles? Weight by molecular weight. So what is the weight of solute out here? What is the weight of NaOH solute? The weight of solute is 2 gram. The weight of solute is given to be 2 gram. Fine. Now what do we calculate? We need another molecular mass. What do we require? We require molecular mass of NaOH. So what is the atomic mass of sodium? Atomic mass of sodium is 23. Oxygen it is 16. And what is the atomic mass of hydrogen? It is equal to 1. So if I calculate the molecular mass, 23 plus 16 is 39. 39 plus 1 equals to 40. So this is the molecular mass of NaOH. So now I have all the things which are required for calculating the molarity. Okay, so what is molarity? Molarity is equal to WB 2. What is MB? 40 into 1000. Why am I multiplying by? Yes, I'm multiplying by 1000 because the volume is given in ml, divided by 100. Okay, so it will be how much? 0.5. It is going to be 0.5. Now the question comes, does molarity have a unit? Yes, molarity does have some unit. Molarity does have some unit. Okay, so what is the unit of molarity? Now again, let us have a look at this formula. Let us have a look at this formula. So what was the formula for calculating molarity? NB by V. So number of moles, this is moles. And what is the unit of volume? It is expressed in liter. Liter. So what is the unit of molarity then? What is the unit of molarity? It will be moles per liter. The unit of molarity will be moles per liter. So whenever you come across any such concentration term having the unit moles per liter, then remember guys, we are talking about molarity. So moles per liter is the unit of molarity. So what will be my answer? My answer will be 0.5 moles per liter. My answer will be 0.5 moles per liter. Okay, so these are all easy problems. You can easily solve this kind of problem. Okay, just you need to remember the so here, according to the question, volume is 500 ml, molarity is 0.375, molecular mass is given.
So 15.379.
You substitute the values out here. You substitute the values. Molarity is 0.375. I'm supposed to calculate WB. MB is given 82.0245 thousand. What is the volume? Volume is 500. So what is the weight? What is the weight? What will be the weight of solid? What is the answer?
So my
Yes, someone
1000.
please. Yes.
Oh, sorry.
So I think if you calculate, so it is coming out to be something round about 15.32
Yeah, 15.37.
gram like this. Okay, it's going to be 15.32 gram. So this is our answer. This is our answer. So either you will be asked to calculate the molarity this problem carefully. Now, what do you understand by this line? The mass percent of nitric acid in it being 69%. So this means that mass percent 69% means this means 100 gram of solution contains 69 gram of nitric acid. Mass percent means out of 100 gram of solution, what is the mass of nitric acid? 69 gram. This means 100 gram of solution contains 69 gram of nitric acid. Okay, so this is the meaning of this line. Mass percent means out of 100. Okay, out of 100 gram of solution, since it is expressed in percentage, 100 gram of solution contains 69 gram of nitric acid. Okay, so yes, again, what is the working formula? We are supposed to calculate molarity. Molarity is equal to WB by MB into 1000 by volume of the solution. Volume of the solution. So this is the working formula. Yes. So what are the quantities which are given out here? What are the things which are given? So we have found out from the definition what is the weight of solute, what is the weight of nitric acid. WB is equal to 69 gram. Now we know the formula of nitric acid, so we can easily calculate the molecular mass of nitric acid. So yes, what is the molecular mass of nitric acid? Hydrogen is equal to 1 plus nitrogen is 14, oxygen 16, 16 times 3, 48. Okay, 48, 49, 49, 53, 63. I think this is equal to 63. So what is the molecular mass of nitric acid? Is equal to 63 gram per mole. Okay. So I know the weight. I have calculated the molecular mass. Now I need to calculate the volume. Now you look at this question. Is the volume of solution given in the question? Is it mentioned anywhere? No. The volume of the solution is not given. So how do you calculate the volume? We calculate the volume from the density. Your density is mentioned, right? Your density is mentioned. Now what is the formula of density? So what is mentioned? Density of solution. What is the density of solution? Density of solution means mass of solution divided by volume of solution. Your density of solution is given and we have to calculate the volume of solution. So what is the density? 1.41. Okay, what is the mass of solution? What mass of solution will we take then? What is the mass of solution we'll take? So mass of solution here, I know 69% means 100 gram of solution, 100 gram of solution. So yes, mass we will be taking as, mass of solution I will be taking as 100 gram divided by volume. Since the density is given in ml, what will be the volume? What will be the unit of volume? The unit of volume will be in ml, 1.41 ml. Okay, the unit of volume will be in ml. Since density is given in ml, so obviously our volume will come in ml. So yes, now I also know the volume of solution. What is the volume of solution? 100, I'll keep it as it is, 100 divided by 1.41 ml. So from the given density, I calculated the volume. From the mass percent, I calculated the weight of solute. Now we have, okay, we know all the quantities which are required to calculate the molarity. Now let us just put it in the formula. So therefore, molarity is equal to, what is the weight of solute? 69. What is the molecular mass? 63 into 1000. Why am I multiplying by 1000? Because my volume is in ml. What is the volume? 100 divided by, so this will come in the numerator, 1.41. Chalo. So therefore, molarity is going to be how much? Chalo, please help me. Yes, molarity is going to be how much? So molarity, if we calculate, it's roundabout will come out to be 15.4 like that. Okay. So 15.4 m, you can write it like this, unit molar. Or you can write it molar as well, or it's better if you write down 15.4 moles per liter. So yes, we have calculated the concentration in moles per liter. So these are the categories of question which might come in your school. Okay, we dilute a solution by adding a solvent. Okay, effect of dilution. Okay, now suppose again I have a flask out here, conical flask. I have a conical flask out here. Okay, I have a conical flask. Just give me a minute, guys. I'll just Okay, so I have a conical flask out here. I have a conical flask. Okay, and suppose, so this is the solution before dilution. Okay, so suppose before dilution the molarity is M1. Fine, and what is the volume before dilution? Let us suppose that the volume is V1. So I have taken a solution, I've considered a solution whose molarity before dilution was M1 and whose volume was supposed to be V1. Now, after dilution, how do you dilute? Then we add some solvent. So let us say we add some water. So as soon as we add some water, what will happen to the volume? It will still remain V1, or is the volume going to change? What will happen to the volume? Yes, it is going to change. How is it going to change? It is going to increase or decrease? Obviously, it will increase. We are adding some more solvent, means the volume is going to increase. So let the volume, okay, so this is the solution after dilution. This is the solution after dilution. Okay, now say suppose after we dilute it, let the volume change to V2. And obviously, if the volume changes, what will happen to the molarity, guys? What will happen to the molarity? We know molarity depends upon
But will
volume.
also change.
Okay, so obviously, if the volume is changing, the molarity is also going to change. So let the final molarity be M2. So if we change the volume, the molarity is also going to change. So now, how do we relate these two? What is the dilution formula there? Dilution formula is M1V1. M1V1 before dilution will be equal to M2V2 after dilution. So this formula, very important formula. So this formula is known as a dilution formula. This particular formula is known as a dilution formula. So before dilution and after dilution, M1V1 before dilution will be equal to M2V2 after dilution. That means, can I say that just like your Boyle's law, can I say the product of concentration and volume is always a constant, right? The product of molarity and volume before dilution is equal to the product of molarity and volume after dilution. They are same, means although molarity and volume both changes, but their product are constant. The product of molarity and volume is always a constant. Okay, so that is why we write down M1V1 before dilution will be equal to M2V2 after dilution. Okay. Yes, same. Yes, Manish, that is your question, right? So what am I doing to the volume out here? What is happening to the volume? Is it increasing or decreasing? I'm diluting it, means what is happening to the volume? Is it increasing? Yes, volume is increasing. So just now I told you, if the volume increases, what will happen to the molarity? How are these two related?
Decreases.
Decreases. So one quantity is increasing, but the molarity is decreasing. That is why what will happen to the product now? One is increasing, the other one is decreasing proportionately. So what will happen to the product? It will remain as before. If volume increases and molarity also increases, then yes, they should not be equal. But here we see that on increasing the volume, molarity decreases. So one quantity is increasing and the other quantity is decreasing. That is why the product will still be the same. The product will still be the same. Got it? Is it clear, Manish?
Yes, sir.
Is it? Okay, thank you. Okay, now, okay. So, dekho, if we just discuss like this, okay, if you have some questions, you should ask, say. Now, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take an HCl solution. I'm going to take a solution of HCl dissolved in water, aqueous HCl solution. Okay. Now, again, I'm going to draw a conical flask out here. Okay. I'm going to draw another conical flask out here. Fine. So there are two conical flasks and both contains HCl solution. Both contains HCl solution. but they have different volume and they have different concentration. Suppose the concentration of this HCl solution is M1. It's M1, right? And the volume is V1. And the volume is V1. The concentration is M1 and the volume is V1. Now another HCl solution, both contains the same HCl solution. Both contains the same HCl solution. Suppose the molarity of this HCl solution is M2 and the volume is V2. We have the same solution HCl, but their concentration as well as their volume are different. Now what we do, we add these two. What do? We mix. We mix these two. So as soon as we mix these two, obviously what is going to be the resulting volume of the solution? So if you mix two HCl solution, will you get an NaOH solution? No, obviously, simple concept, you'll still be getting an HCl solution. Now what is the volume of the resulting solution? What is the volume of the resulting solution? What will be the final volume? We are mixing two solutions having volume V1 and
V1 plus V2.
Yes, exactly. So volume of the resulting solution, very good. It will be equal to V1 plus V2. Now here, the final volume is again changing. What is the final volume? V1 plus V2. The volume is changing means, will the molarity be equal to M1? I don't think so because the volume is changing. Will the molarity be equal to M2? We are not sure because again the final volume is changing. So we don't know the resulting molarity. Okay, we have no idea about the resulting molarity. So let the resulting molarity be MR. MR stands for resulting molarity. VR stands for resultant volume. VR stands for resultant volume. Okay. So how are we going to calculate the resulting molarity on mixing two solutions like this? So what is the formula of mixing two solutions? The formula is M1V1 plus M2V2 is going to be equal to MRV1 plus V2. So this is the formula for calculating the resulting molarity. Got it? Now again you can ask me, sir, what if you mix three solutions then? What if you mix three solutions? If you mix three solutions, then what is it going to be the formula? M1 V1 of the first solution, M2 V2 of the second solution, M3 V3 of the third solution is going to be equal to MR. What is the volume of the resulting solution? It's going to be V1 plus V2 plus V3. So on mixing two identical solutions, when we get a new solution, okay, the resultant molarity of the resulting solution can be calculated using this formula. But I'm just again repeating, when you mix two identical solutions. But if you mix HCl and NaOH, then we can't use this formula. Mind it. If I mix HCl with NaOH, then the things are going to get complicated now. We can't use this formula anymore. So we can use this formula only when two like solutions are mixed, only when two identical solutions are mixed with one another. Okay, but remember, if you try to mix an acid and a base, then yes, this formula will be inappropriate. We cannot use this formula. Okay, we cannot use this formula anymore. Okay, so density of methanol is given. Density of methanol is given. And the question says, what volume is needed from this solution having a density of this much? What volume is needed for making 2.5 liter of its 0.25 molar solution? Okay, so let us start now. Now, what is the formula of methanol? CH3OH, right? So first of all, let us start with the molar mass of methanol. So there is one carbon, 12. There are 4 hydrogen, 4 into 1 plus 1 oxygen, 16. Okay, 1 oxygen, 16. So what is the molar mass? Yes, tell me. 0.0. It's in kg, eh? It's in kg. So yes, 32 gram per mole. But can I keep this in gram? Guys, can I keep this in gram? No, because the density is given in kg. Density is given in kg, so I need to convert this into kg. How will I convert gram into kg? So 32 divided by 1000, so 10 to the power minus 3. or I can straight away write down 32 divided by 1000. So this will be 0.032 kg per mole. Okay, the molar mass I have expressed in kg. Okay, it should not be a problem. Why? Because the density is given in, density of methanol is given in kg per liter. Okay, now molarity again. What is the formula of molarity? Yes, tell me guys. Weight by molecular weight, and since the volume is given in liter, I'll keep this in liter, right? I will not multiply by 1000 because the volume is given in liter. Now what is this equal to? WB by volume, what is this equal to? WB by V.
The density.
Density, it's equal to density. Can I say yes? Weight by volume is equal to density? Yes. So molarity, can I write this as density of solution divided by molecular mass? Yes, I can easily write it down. So yes, what is the density? What is the density now? Let us put down the values. What is the density? 0.793. What is the molecular mass? 0.032. And what will be the unit of molarity ka unit to wahi hoga. Okay. So yes, what will be the molarity? Molarity will be 24.7 something. Fine. So now from the density, we have calculated the molarity of the solution. Now the question says, okay, so what is my initial molarity? What is my initial molarity? It's my initial molarity is 24.78. And what is the final molarity? What solution need must I prepare? I must prepare a solution having a molarity of 0.25 and whose volume is equal to, what should be the volume of the final solution for making 2.5 liter? 2.5 liter. But now I have calculated the initial molarity. Now I am supposed to calculate the volume of this solution needed for preparing 2.5 liter of 0.25 molar solution. That means I am supposed to calculate V1. So yes, which formula are you supposed to use? Molarity equation. Okay. So yes, which formula will you use?
M1 V1 equals to M2 V2.
Exactly. So M1 V1 should be equal to M2 V2. So M1 V1, okay, these are the quantities of the given solution. These are the quantities of the given solution, and this is the solution to be prepared. This is the solution to be prepared. This is the solution to be prepared. Okay, we must prepare 2.5 liter of 0.25 molar solution. Just from the molarity, we have just derived this simple concept in the numerical itself. Okay, now chal, put down the values. Put down the values. M1. What is M1? 24.78. It's approximately equal to 25. V1 is equal to, what is M2? 0.25. What is V2? 2.5. So V1 should be a little bit greater than 0.25. It should be a little bit greater than 0.25. Okay, so if you calculate, yes, it will come up to be, yes, how much volume?
0.025.
0.025. If you give it as 2.5, okay, just add one more digit. I think it will be 2 liter.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the volume. Okay, got it? So obviously this is an NCERT based question. It is an NCERT based question. So in this question, which I had not discussed before, from the molarity equation, I have calculated the approximate density of the solution. I have calculated the density of the solution. Okay.
Yes,
So these are some of the problems which are related to your molarity. These are some of the problems which are related. So let me just start today with your mole fraction. Let me start with this term, mole fraction. The symbol of mole fraction is chi. It looks like X, but it's not X. It's pronounced as chi. It's a Greek letter chi. Okay, the symbol of mole fraction will be chi. Now, suppose I again have a solution containing Na moles of solute, Na moles of solute, and Nb moles, sorry, Na moles of solvent. I'll write it down. A stands for solvent, and Nb moles of solute. Okay, I have a solution containing Na moles of solvent and Nb moles of solute. It's a binary solution. It contains two components. So what is the mole formula for calculating the mole fraction? The mole fraction of A, okay, the mole fraction of A is equal to number of moles of A divided by total number of moles. Simple. Mole fraction. Okay, number of moles of that particular component divided by total number of moles. Similarly, what will be the formula for calculating the mole fraction of B? It will be number of moles of component B divided by, again, total number of moles divided by total number of moles. So this is the formula for calculating the mole fraction. So now you guys tell me, what is going to be the unit of mole fraction? Number of moles divided by number of moles. Does it have any unit? No. It does not have any unit. It does not have any unit. It is dimensionless quantity since it is a ratio of moles. Okay, so it is dimensionless. Now what you do is, you do it yourself. You do it yourself. What is the value of chi A plus chi B? What is the value of chi A plus chi B? What is the value of chi A plus chi B?
Na plus Nb by
Yes,
Nb.
final value, final value. So it's going to be Na divided by Na plus Nb, plus it is going to be Nb divided by Na plus Nb. So denominator are same. So the LCM is going to be Na plus Nb. Is going to be Na plus Nb, and numerator again it is going to be Na plus Nb. So it is equal to 1. So very, 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 very important conclusion. Remember, the sum of mole fraction is always equal to 1. The sum of mole fraction will always be equal to 1. Okay, because it is a fraction. We know fractional values are always less than 1. Okay, so if our answer comes out to be greater than 1, then we are wrong, because mole fraction can never exceed 1. Okay, it should always be less than 1 because the sum of mole fraction is equal to 1. Fine. Now, here I have discussed the simplest case. I have discussed the simplest case containing a binary solution. Okay. So if I ask you, a solution contains, if I just modify this, a solution contains, say, Na moles of A. It contains Na moles of a component A. It contains, say, Nb moles of component B. And say it contains Nc moles of component C. Fine. So what is the formula for calculating the mole fraction of A now? Now it's a ternary solution. It contains 3 components. It contains 3 components. Na by Na plus Nb plus Nc. Chi B equals to Nb by Na plus Nb plus Nc. Again, we have another component. Chi C equals to number of moles of C divided by Na plus Nb plus Nc. So these are the formula for calculating the mole fraction. And yes, what will be the sum of mole fraction equal to? Yes, chi A plus chi B plus chi C will be equal to what? So therefore, again here the same concept. The sum of mole fraction again out here is going to be equal to 1. Okay, so here number of moles are involved. Here number of moles are involved. And yes, we have so many formulas by which we can calculate this number of moles. Okay, number of moles of A means weight of A divided by molecular mass of A. Or we can express this number of moles in terms of number of particles. We can express this number of moles in terms of volume. Okay, as given in your problem. So let's just construct one problem out here. So calculate the mole fraction of each component okay, each component of a solution of an aqueous solution. It's better if I write down if of an aqueous solution containing 18% by mass of glucose. Okay, containing 18% by mass of glucose. So I just constructed one numerical out here. Okay, so we don't know what will be the answer. So first of all, let us have a good look at this problem. So what are the two components out here? What are the two components out here? What are the two components of an aqueous solution? Means one of the component is water. One of the component is water. Aqueous means one of the component is water. And what is the other component? What is the other component? The other component is glucose. And what is the solute out here and what is the solvent out here? Obviously, water is going to be the solvent A and glucose is going to be the solute. Okay, now we need to find out if we can find out the number of moles of A and if we can find out the number of moles of B, then we can easily calculate the mole fraction of these two components. Now, again, let us analyze this particular statement. So someone, yes, please help me. What does this mean? 18% by mass of glucose. What does this mean? Please, someone give me the lead. What does this statement mean?
100 gram. Not
What does this mean? Yes, please tell me. 18%. This means what? This means again 18% by mass means this means 100 gram of solution contains 18 gram of glucose. Yes. Now from this line I know the weight of solute. What is the weight of solute? 18 gram. Now someone please tell me what would be the weight of solvent out here? What would be the weight of solvent? What would be the weight of solvent? What would be the weight of solvent out here? I know the mass of solution 100 gram. I know the weight of solute. So now we know the weight of solution will be equal to the weight of solute plus weight of solvent because the solution is made up of solute and solvent. So weight of solution is 100 gram. Weight of solute is equal to 18 grams. So the rest will be that of water. So what is the weight of your solvent out here? 100 minus 18. So this is going to be how much? Yes. This is going to be 82.
yes.
This is going to be 82 gram. So this is the weight of solvent water, right? Now what is the molecular mass of water? What is the molecular mass of solvent water? It is equal to 18. Yes. And what is the molecular mass of glucose? Chalo calculate karo. What is the molecular mass of glucose? Calculate. If you calculate, it will come out to be roundabout, not roundabout, it will come out to be 180 gram per mole. Okay, 18 gram per mole is that of water. And glucose ka calculate karo, we know the atomic masses. So why am I writing the molecular mass? Because yes, in order to calculate the mole fraction, I need to know the number of moles. So number of moles of glucose, number of moles of solute glucose is equal to given mass by molecular mass. So this is equal to 0.1, I suppose. And what is the number of moles of solvent water? This is equal to given mass is 82 divided by 18. So yes, please help me with the division. 82 divided by 18 will come out to be how much? Please help me. This will come out to be how much?
4.5.
4.5. So I'm writing it at 4.5. So 4.5. 4.5. Fine. 4.5. Now from these I have calculated the number of moles finally, but I need to calculate the mole fraction. Therefore, the mole fraction of component A means A stands for solvent, or I can calculate the mole fraction of B. So this is going with the number of moles of glucose divided by total number of moles. So what is the number of moles of glucose? 0.1, I suppose. What is the number of moles of solvent water? 4.5 plus again 0.1. So this is going to be 0.1 divided by 4.6. So yes, what is the answer? 0.1 divided by 4.6. Yes, how much? 0.1 divided by 4.6.
So 0.021.
Yes, this is our correct answer. Mole fraction should be always less than 1. Now, how are you going to calculate the mole fraction of component A? What are you going to do out here? What are you going to do? How are you going to calculate chi A then? Are you going to use again this formula? No, I'm not going to use this formula because I know the sum of mole fraction is always equal to 1. I know this concept. Since the mole fraction of B has been calculated, what is the value? 0.021 equals to 1. So therefore, chi A equals to 1 minus 0.021. So we don't need to again waste our time calculating this, because I know if I know the mole fraction of one component, the mole fraction of other component can easily be found, because I know the sum of mole fraction is always equal to 1. So these are going to be my answer. Okay, so these are the concepts of mole fraction. Okay, this is how we calculate. So here again, we have two components out here. What are the two components? One of the component is ethanol and the other component is obviously water. It's given out here water. Okay, fine. So mole fraction of ethanol is given. This will be equal to what? This will be equal to number of moles of ethanol divided by number of moles of ethanol plus number of moles of water. Plus number of moles of water. Yes, am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, the mole fraction of ethanol, is 0.040. So what should be the mole fraction of water? What should be the mole fraction of water? It should be 0.960. It should be 0.960. So here we have to make one assumption. What is the assumption out here? Now, if we just compare these two values, then we see that the mole fraction of ethanol is very, 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 very less as compared to the mole fraction of water. It's very less as compared to the mole fraction of water. That means the amount of ethanol in water is very, 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 very less. Okay, the amount of solute in solvent is very, very, very less. So we can say the solution is very dilute. We can say the solution is very, 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 very dilute. Okay, fine. So what is the assumption I will make then? Since the solution is dilute, can I write down this assumption that 1 liter of solution approximately contains 1 liter of water? Okay, now I think you'll have some problem out here. Just go through this particular assumption now. Yes, obviously you'll be having some questions out here. The volume of the solution is equal to volume of water plus volume of ethanol. But here I mentioned out here, the solution is very dilute, means the volume of ethanol is very, 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 very less as compared to the volume of water. So this can be neglected in comparison to this. Since the solution is very dilute, the volume of ethanol is very less, which can be neglected in comparison to that of water. So yes, I can write it out here that this volume of ethanol is neglected. Why have I neglected it? Because the solution is very dilute. So therefore, the volume of solution is equal to the volume of water. So 1 liter of solution, how much solution I have considered out here? 1 liter. I have considered 1 liter of solution. Now, okay, you concentrate. What is the number of moles of water? What is the number of moles of water? Shall I calculate it? What is the formula for calculating the number of moles? Weight of water divided by molecular mass of water. So here I have assumed, first of all, I've taken the volume of the solution is 1 liter. Why have I taken 1 liter? It will be clear, right? So 1 liter of solution is approximately equal to 1 liter of water. Why? Because the solution is dilute. So the volume of ethanol is negligible as compared to the volume of water. Okay. So what is the number of moles of water, weight of water, and molecular mass of water? Okay. Now, what is the volume of solution? 1 liter. And 1 liter solution equals to 1 liter of water. What is the density of water? What is the density of water? Yes, you should be knowing this. Yes,
1.3.
So 1.3 matlab, we'll take it as 1. So density is 1 means density is equal to mass by volume. So since density is equal to 1, mass is always equal to volume. For water, mass is always equal to volume. So what liter, how much mass of solution have I taken? 1 liter of solution. 1 liter of solution is approximately equal to 1 liter of water. What is the volume of water taken? What is the volume of water taken out here? 1 liter or 1000 ml?
Yes, sir.
Yes, the volume of water taken is 1000 ml. So what will be the mass of 1000 ml of water? What will be the mass of 1000 ml of water? It will be 1000 gram. Since the density of water is 1. So 1 kg volume will be 1 liter. So 1000 ml will weigh 1000 gram. Okay, so what is the weight of water out here? According to the problem, 1000 divided by 18. So do you remember this value? If I divide 1000 by 18, it will be 55.5. It will be 55.5. Okay, so again, remember I have considered the volume of the solution to be 1 liter. So I have calculated the number of moles in 1 liter of water. 1 liter of water weighs what? 1000 grams divided by 18, 55.5. Okay, now let us come back to this formula again. Let us come back to this formula. So what is the mole fraction of ethanol taken? Given 0.040. Okay, 0.040. So number of moles of ethanol, we don't know the number of moles of ethanol. And here again, I've assumed, what have we assumed? The number of moles of ethanol is very small as compared to number of moles of water. So just as we neglected the volume, we can neglect this number of moles of ethanol. Okay. Or if you don't want to neglect, fine, number of moles of ethanol. Plus, what is the number of moles of water? What is the number of moles of water? 55.5. Now you just calculate the number of moles of ethanol. Instead of writing ethanol, I'll just write it as NB. Okay, I'll just write this as NB. Chalo. I have not neglected it. Chalo. So calculate NB. Now we can calculate. Only one thing is unknown. We can easily calculate NB. Now, why was I insisting so much on the definition part? Now it will be clear. So what is NB? Chalo, calculate karo. So NB multiplied by this, 55.5 multiplied by this will be equal to NB. So yes, if we calculate NB, this will come out to be how much? So I'll give you the answer. Okay, so let us not waste our time on multiplication. We all know how to multiply moles. Fine. So this is our number of moles of ethanol. Now, what is the volume of solution I have taken? What is the volume of solution I have taken? What was the volume of solution I had considered out here? What volume of solution I had considered? 1 liter. 1 liter contains how many moles of solute? 1 liter contains how many moles of solute?
Mm,
So that means now can I come to the conclusion that therefore 1 liter of solution, that is why I had taken the volume of the solution to be 1 liter. So 1 liter of solution contains 2.31 moles of solute. What is this actually? What is this actually? ये किसका definition है? क्या चीज का definition है ये?
Molarity.
Yes, very good, excellent. Now we come to know that is the significance of definition. If we don't understand the definition, we will never be able to solve this problem. And we had considered the volume of the solution to be 1 liter because I have intentionally calculated the number of moles of solute in 1 liter of solution. So how many moles of solute are present in 1 liter of solution? 2.31 moles. So therefore, as per the definition, the molarity of this solution equals to 2.31 moles per liter is the molarity. So it's a very interesting problem. It's a very, very, very interesting problem. So there are two things. Okay, since two quantities were unknown out here, I have approximated this. Okay, how have I approximated? Yes, I compared the two values. I found that the mole fraction of ethanol is very less. That means the solution is dilute. Okay, since the solution was dilute, मैंने क्या किया यहाँ पर? Volume of the solution is equals to volume of solute plus volume of solvent. Since the solution is dilute, this I have neglected in comparison to this. That means the volume of the solution is equal to the volume of water. And volume of solution I have assumed it to be 1 liter. So 1 liter of solution contains 1 liter of solvent. Again, from this concept, 1 liter of water means mass 1000 gram. Molecular mass pata hai. From there I calculate the number of moles of water. From here I calculate the number of moles of solute, and this many number of moles of solute were present in 1 liter of solution. So the molarity is 2.31. So why is this problem so important? Because we have taken into account so many things in this particular problem. The concept of neglecting one. Why have we neglected first? You can't neglect. Hey, suppose if the mole fraction of ethanol was 0.5, then could we solve this problem? Can you neglect it? If the mole fraction of ethanol was 0.5, then the solution is not dilute. So we can't make this approximation of it. But yes, intentionally in the problem, the mole fraction was very less, meaning the solution is dilute, so we can neglect the volume of solute out here. It's a very, very, very important one. Okay, so you go through it once more.